Hello to my vlog followers. It didn't take me too terribly long to come up with my next project for a violin finishing project. Um, I just got receipt of what's known as a bird's eye maple violin, and this one here came more or less completely assembled. It had the fingerboard already attached. Essentially, it's ready for finishing. So unlike the other violin where I had to on the Dragon, I had to attach the neck, I had to attach the saddle here, had to install all the purfling. You'll notice that as compared to the Dragon, the top is very similar. That sort of leads me to believe that it came from the same shop, probably in China. As a matter of fact, most certainly in China. The one thing I did notice, though, was that obviously there's a much more professional job done of installing purfling and fitting the neck and that sort of thing. I think I could do a much better job the next time around if I was to do another project just like the Dragon. So this one here, like I said before, it's bird's eye maple, and I don't know if the camera and the lighting will pick up the actual effect of the bird's eye, but it's the back, the ribs, and the neck are all done like that. Obviously, the top is spruce, just like virtually all violins. That's a standard for sound production. So I'm kind of looking forward. One thing I noticed on this one is that when they were building it, the bird's eye is it looks that way because of the knots in the maple, and so when they were cutting it out, they must have had a little boo-boo here, and on the button a little piece must have broken off because of the knots in the maple. So they've very precisely and very professionally fitted in a little patch here. It doesn't detract too much from it, but we're not talking a very expensive violin here. The Dragon here, I probably got all told about, I don't know, $500-600 involved in or invested in it. And this one here I bought off of eBay for $200 US, I guess it was. And by the time I'm all done, because I have a bunch of the accessories already, I've got bridges and tail pieces, and the only thing I'll have to buy for it is a set of good strings. So I'll probably have maybe $400 or $500 invested by the time I'm done. I could have bought a violin exactly like this, completely finished and fitted. I think they do them in California. They bring all the pieces over from China, and they do them there. It would have cost me around $1,000 Canadian. But then, and I'm sure it would have been very professionally done. But then I wouldn't have the fun of finishing it myself and making it my own personal violin. So I'm still debating on color and what I'm gonna color it with. It's largely just a matter of sanding. Start out with about a 400 grit sandpaper, and then just keep gradually working up. I go from a 400 grit to an 800 grit to 1,000 grit, and then the final sanding is a 2,000 grit sandpaper, which is sort of like just a polishing cloth. By the time you're done, it's just as smooth as glass. The only thing that never gets finished is on the neck where your hands sit. That's usually just oiled. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this bird's eye looks like when it gets some color applied to it. And I'm not going to use a plain varnish like I did with the Dragon. And I was thinking, well, what's unique? Like I have a red violin, I have a brown one now, I have a blonde, and I'm almost thinking this may I haven't decided for sure, but almost a pumpkin orange, something really really bright, something that'll bring this pattern in the wood out. And I looked around, and I'm having trouble finding an actual orange dye for varnish. So I was at Lee Valley the other day and picked up aniline, I believe it's called, yeah, aniline wood stain. So it's a powder actually, and this is, believe it or not, is yellow. Now it doesn't look very yellow there. It says it's lemon yellow, but I'm sure once it's diluted it would be yellow. So I'm gonna have to blend. I'm gonna have to get some red as well and blend red and yellow. And I'll obviously do a bunch of experimentation. I'll get an old piece of spruce and sand it up and just like an artist, I guess, just start blending and see what happens. So then comes the fun of fitting and putting in the sound post and all that sort of thing. The only difference I can see between the Dragon and this Bird's Eye one that I haven't named yet, from what I read, violins with a single piece back. See, this the Dragon has a two-piece back. If I can show you that there. If you can see it, it's actually built in two pieces, as is the top. Very, very hard to see. The Bird's Eye one here has a two-piece top, and I think that's pretty standard. But from what I've read, a single piece back gives the best sound of violins, and I don't know if that's true, but it's certainly more aesthetically pleasing, especially when you have a flamed one-piece back. They're very nice. So I thought I'd kind of kill two birds with one stone here, so to speak. It'll be a Bird's Eye, single piece back, and we'll see. I guess time will tell. It's obviously a fairly long project. Take me a month or more, I'm sure. Anyways, I'll let you know when it's finished, and maybe torture you with another song if people are up for that. I guess I better get sanding. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in a month or so.